Puppy mills. That's probably not the first thing that comes to your mind when I think of record collecting, but I had cause to think of it recently as we just celebrated Christmas here. Hope you all had a wonderful one if you celebrate. I got to spend some time with my folks who live, not too far away, and they have a dog that grew up on a puppy mill. And this dog is as sweet as it can be, but even though it has not lived on a puppy mill for over a decade, it has never lost that sense of skittishness that it has. It's a dog that has a lot of love to give, but you have to care for this dog very, very specifically. If you turn your head too quickly, the dog runs away because you've scared it. If you sneeze, the dog runs away because you've scared it. If you scratch your nose too quickly, the dog is terrified and runs away. But if you can calm the dog, if you can approach it just right and treat it in a very careful, respectful way, it's a dog that will love you as much as any other dog. And I got to thinking about how sometimes records can be a little bit temperamental that way. And I wondered if any of you have any puppy mill records. And let me tell you what I mean. I only recently found out that two of my favorite musicians actually recorded an album together. I had no idea. The vocalist Nina Simone and the jazz composer Vince Guaraldi, who, Vince, of course, being most famous for the Charlie Brown music that we know from the Peanut specials, and Nina Simone, of course, being an amazing, mostly jazz but R&B soul kind of vocalist. I had no idea they had made this album together. And once I found out about it, I wanted to get a copy. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's overly expensive to find a copy, but I wouldn't say it's a cheap album either. But I did find a copy that was much cheaper than any other copy I saw for sale. And there's a reason. It's a puppy mill record. And what I mean by that, I don't know how well this is going to show up here. And I knew this when I bought it. This was not a secret. But this album, at a quick glance, it looks okay, but it's actually cracked, but not the record. The center of the album has a big crack in it. Let me find it. It's more prevalent on one side. Yes, it's more prevalent on side B, but it affects both sides. And this crack runs from the center of the record into the dead wax, but not into the actual music. So this record, if you treat it very carefully, is very good, but you have to be aware of its quirk, which is that if you let the needle go all the way into the dead wax, you're probably going to destroy your stylus. So I recently, completely unrelated to this, upgraded my stylus. I have the Ortofon 2M Blue, as you may have seen on my turntable. I got another stylus just because it was time, and but I kept my old stylus, so I use the old stylus now only to play this one record. And when I play this record, I know I have to watch it like a hawk, because on side B, which has the bigger run out groove, the crack runs about halfway into the dead wax, but on side A, which is a much smaller run out groove, although it doesn't run into the music, it runs all the way up to the edge of the dead wax. Like if it went one half of a millimeter more, it would be into the music. So there's no room for error on side A. But because of this, I got this record for almost nothing. And it's a record that otherwise would have cost me, again, not a fortune. It's not a super expensive record, but it's expensive enough that, yeah, I'll carefully listen to it this way. And it's interesting, this Coronet label. I just love how it's kind of it's like the most featureless label, one of the most featureless, unimpressive labels I've ever seen. I kind of like 50s record labels a lot of the times. They're very colorful or have interesting logos, and this one completely doesn't. It looks like a, yeah, we've got the Courier fonts. We're gonna throw this together. So I wondered if any of you have records that are kind of similar, where they're great and you can really enjoy them, but you have to take some kind of special care when listening to them. Would you ever buy a Puppy Mill record? Have you ever bought a puppy mill record. I hope you'll let me know in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Would love to hear from you. And again, welcome back to 2023. I hope we all have a great new year together.